The global markets are experiencing severe whiplash, with investors still struggling to figure out how much havoc the pandemic will wreak. Wednesday opened with a major sell-off, despite yesterday's partial rebound and positive close. In the latest movements by central bank policymakers to soften the blow of the growing crisis, the Bank of England announced an emergency interest rate cut this morning, which briefly lifted European markets before they followed American markets to the downside, giving back any unrealized gains. The UK's FTSE 100 fell 0.3% after pumping over 2% earlier in the day. Over in the US, the Dow opened more than 700 points, or 2.9% lower. The S&P 500 fell 2.6%, and the Nasdaq dropping 2.5% more now at the time of reporting. With the ECB, the European Central Bank, expected to announce its own intervention measures tomorrow for the Eurozone, Germany's DAX and France's CAC 40 gained about 1% currently on the daily. Now, over in Italy, where 60 million people have been effectively placed in lockdown and quarantine, their main stock index slipped just by 0.4%. Inciting that investors may be hopeful that Italy's aggressive stance on stopping the spread, as well as the government announcement yesterday stating that they will be allocating a whopping 25 billion euros to fight the pandemic, might be pushing prices to the upside. Now, the price war on oil continues to escalate, with Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Energy ordering an increase of production from 12.3 million barrels per day to over 13 million. Crude is down another 8%, falling to $33 a barrel. Bitcoin is also having a down day as well, but holding its value incredibly well compared to the global markets. When we look at percentages and impact here, are Bitcoin buyers finally beginning to step in? And are we beginning to see a glimmer of that safe haven narrative, or are we just oversold and it's time to buy? Meanwhile, in today's episode, we're going to cover what institutions are looking for in blockchain technology, an important metric for researching global adoption. And we talk about the latest cryptocurrency scam to be aware of. All this and more in today's episode of Breaking Bitcoin.
I'm Joseph Abadi from Blockchain Economics, and you're watching Breaking Bitcoin.
Welcome back to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live Wednesday, March 11th, 2020. This is your daily source for everything's markets, for everything markets and finance. We are broadcasting live to YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, and on television if you have the Investor News Channel app. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, turn on all notifications, hit the thumbs up button, and leave a comment down below letting us know what you've learned today. You can also follow us over on Instagram and Twitter, where we post exclusive content every single day. If you have any questions, drop them in the live chat. The moderators will direct my attention to them. Now, we've got a lot to cover today. I don't want to waste any time. Let's get right to the charts for today's analysis. All right, here we are in the live scene. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today. Bitcoin trading down below 8,000 again, 77.20 as we go into today. Ethereum having another nice drop as well, down at 191. XRP probably going to be closing the day below 20 cents. EOS back below $3 at 296. Litecoin below $50 again, 47.52. And BNB under probably going to close below 16 today as well. Cardano, which I am still short on, down at 509 sats, and Origin Protocol, which I'm actually out of now, down at 43.31. I ended up exiting yesterday around 46 cents. All right, now let's break down that. Let's also just hop over here real quick, take a look at our traditional markets right here. We've got the S&P down at 275.13, massive gap to the downside and follow through. Same with our Qs over here down at 195.63. Looking at the iShares Trust over here, the Dow 136.10, energy sector down at 91.64. Gold spot, again, we talked about this, down at 16.47. Silver continuing its sell-off at 16.81. We talked about not buying silver. Bentley crude not down too much, 36.15. So the CFD holding up a little bit better actually than the actual index. And DRIP up at $500 still. Again, I'm out of DRIP. I ended up taking my profit, as I said here 2 days ago last week. So nothing to do there. But again, getting a nice little resurgence here as we move forward. So we're going to cover a lot. Let's obviously start with Bitcoin, as we are wont to do. A couple things to talk about here in the realm of Bitcoin. Let's hop to that monthly real quick. On Bitstamp. Again, Important levels that we're watching here on the monthly time frame. Level of demand between 69.28 and 59.20 based on chart structure. 10,148 to 9,242 level of supply. An overhead significant level of resistance at 12,000, 12,200. Again, as I've said before, closing monthlies above 12,200 doesn't really leave any room around in the world for bearishness, and I will expect that we will be testing those all-time highs. Beyond that, monthly structure, again, having our second consecutive down monthly candle. We have yet to close the monthly candle. We are still only 1/3 of the way through the month. So we've got a lot of time to really put in some work. I am expecting that we do end up closing overall monthly structure somewhere right around in this range, right around here in the median zone. Not really expecting a significant dive to the races down here. Weekly structure is a little bit more relevant. This is going to be our third consecutive down weekly candle, but fifth consecutive weekly candle in a bit of a downtrend here on the weekly time frame. We've talked about this upper channel area, which we have yet to test. That's going to be intersecting nicely. If it takes 2 more weeks to get there, we'll be intersecting very nicely with previous support right around the $6,900, $7,000 area. I do expect that eventually we will test that moving forward over the next month or two. Again, should only take 2 weeks if we just kind of continue off in this little movement to the downside here. On extending that, let's bring up something that we didn't point out here on the monthly time frame. Let's look at our significant EMAs. Again, we are coming down to test our 21 monthly exponential moving average to support an important level. 74 to 33 should be sufficient to get a small bounce off of. We also have our lowest downside target here in the form of the 55 monthly exponential moving average at 53.88. Important levels. We've talked about that before. We can see the consolidation and the support at the lows at 3,500 at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. That is a fantastic confluence coming here to the weekly time frame where we are closing below the weekly 55 exponential moving average, moving for a retest of that 100 simple moving average. Again, very confluent with the 21 monthly exponential moving average. This is also where we bottomed on our previous movement to the downside. But again, we have the 200 weekly simple moving average, which I feel is a more likely target. Again, in that 58.98 level. So again, 58 to 56. That's roughly where I'm looking at. Again, it depends on whether you look at the Coinbase chart or the Bitstamp chart, but that's my lowest downside target here at this point in time. We can see the weekly 200 simple moving average continues to move up, now going to be moving clearly into that same level of VPVR and also chart structure demand that we have below us. So overall, the areas that I'm watching and looking to take action from on a positional basis, on a higher time frame basis. We talked about the overall chart structure here, going to the breaking Bitcoin system here on the weekly. Things here are pretty clear cut. We closed below, so I talked about weekly hedges being in order as we closed last week's weekly candle. And honestly, aggressively, you could have done it the week before because we did close below the baseline proper, but not the baseline channel. But you clearly did close below the baseline, flipping the breaking Bitcoin initiator, which is the signal that tells you when to take trades, flipping that to the downside. We also got rising explosion level and a WADA signal on that same weekly candle. And on this current weekly candle, Minx and Parallax will both confirm to the downside. So very bearish signals, very bearish trending signals, unfortunately. Going to the, and that's about it. Going to the daily now, which is actually what we trade. The daily is fairly interesting. You guys can see that breakdown of our level of supply. The retest and rejection lined up very beautifully with a reversal baseline bounce. To prove that, let's go up and pull up the daily baseline. So we need to set this back to 60, of course, on the daily time frame. There you guys can see the beautiful reversal baseline bounce that was set up. Also that retest of the supply zone, and Bitcoin has had follow through ever since. Again, we got the short trending signal on this current daily candle as we close below the continuation filter, Wadatar explosion signal, Minx signal, Parallax confirmation, boom, Bob's your uncle, you're all there. You guys do not, premium members do not have access to the breaking Bitcoin system, but you have everything here in the form of the baseline, Minx, Wadatar, and Parallax. Again, we've gone over how to utilize these in the mentoring sessions in the VIP Ask Me Anythings multiple times. Very powerful system here. Anyways. So, Let's give you guys the metrics that we're talking about, and then we'll look at the one discretionary position that we do have on today. We've got 6 hours and 46 minutes for the daily candle to close, and as I said, trading down below 7,700, 76.83 currently on the Bitstamp chart. So daily baseline is currently sitting at 88.57. We need to close the daily above 88.57 before we have regained our daily bullish trend. From my system, we actually need to close above 9,130 to get the long signal. Continuation filter is sitting at 83.12. Daily closes above 83.12 are going to be invalidating shorts at this point in time. So we've got some work to do. Bitcoin needs to put in about an 8% rally to be invalidating short trades at this point in time. Until and unless that happens, you look at retracements as opportunities to continue trading in the dominant time frame. This was my official recommendation going out last night. For lower time frames, look for overbought territory to enter into continuation trades, or look for short trending signals on the lower time frames to trade in the direction of the daily trend, which is to the downside currently. Now, Minx is oversold here on the daily. I think oversold is far more relevant than being overbought. So I do expect to see a little bit of a bounce here. Again, could be wrong. Obviously, I've taken a trade to establish that. I am positioned actually to the long side on Bitcoin, and that is due to not a discretionary system, but a secondary system, which of course you guys are familiar with. This is bottom feeder. Bottom feeder gave its first bottom feeder signal yesterday. It is signaling for a second dollar cost average entry today, which I will be entering. Currently moving our targets down as we dollar cost average into this trade. So currently looking for a target on entry right now at this point in time at around 8,088, stop loss at 70.36, and it will continue to average us into this trade as we move forward. So that's where I'm at with Bitcoin. After we hit our target for that bottom feeder trade, I will be re-hedging and looking for opportunities to reshort in the direction of the trend unless we get some form of significant reversal signal. So for those who are not trading the bottom feeder strategy, again, my official recommendation is to be watching lower time frames for overbought conditions to short, or looking for trending signals on those lower time frames, or just waiting to take the daily signals, waiting patiently for the setups that your system will give you. Remember, the most important part here is you cannot catch every movement in the market. You just need to catch the movements that your strategy is designed to catch, because that's all you need to do is consistently catch your edge, your trades that are designed to capture your edge, and you can be consistently profitable. That's all you need to do. All right, so beyond that, Bitcoin here is fairly just steady as she goes. Pretty steady as she goes around the office too as well. 12-hour again giving the take profit short signal over here. The 12-hour has not given a continuation signal yet. The 12-hour baseline is sitting at 82.42 with the initiator at 84.06 and continuation filter at 79.91. Minx is bearish, but inside static, so that is a no trade signal. WADA is confirming shorts. Parallax is confirming shorts as well. Coming down to the 4-hour time frame, we do get a nice continuation short on this candle. Minx gives a continuation short at 79.81. Beautiful entry for this 4-hour trade right here. And then we get another continuation short from Minx in conjunction with a reversal baseline bounce. Right here, we can see Parallax confirmation, and we do not need WADA confirmation for continuation trades or reversal baseline bounces. Overall, WADA has told you for primary signals, look at the volume and volatility right here. WADA has told you to basically stay out of the market over this movement right here. This is why I think that people who are kind of screaming that Bitcoin's going to drop out of the bottom right here are a little misguided, because all we're doing is retesting lows that we've already formed right here and still currently making higher lows. Again, we haven't formed a higher low yet, but we also have not formed a lower low. We have not tested the recent bottom, which would be, 76.36. If we start closing 4-hour, 8-hour candles below there, sure, we can start to be concerned. But anything that's intraday below those levels, again, we kind of look at oversold. Now, what I would be watching for a really optimum entry here is either a reversal signal here from Minx, a take profit short signal from Minx as Minx crosses back into static, or I would be watching on the 4-hour for Minx to get oversold. And I would view that as an optimum entry for those who have decided to be patient and try to optimize their entry here a little bit. Let's go down to the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame is interesting. Let's see here. So for the 30-minute time frame, what we're going to do is we are going to disable everything except for the daily baseline. because this is how we do lower time frame trading. We're going to be looking at the daily baseline, and what can we see? All right, we're below the daily baseline. So what can we do on lower time frames? Well, we can look for, so we want daily time frame baseline filtration of signals. Boom. Now we can see that if we set minks like this, you can see that we do not get any long signals, because on the lower time frames, do we want to be trading long? Of course not. If we're trading lower time frames, all we do is go into the mink settings. If you're on a lower time frame, you go into daily time frame baseline filter of signals and make sure that you set your daily baseline correctly. Of course, if you're on the daily, you can just select current time frame baseline of signals, or if you're on the 4 hour, you can do current time frame baseline of signals. And we get some fantastic entries here. Some fantastic entries right here. Let's just look over, make sure we're autoed. All right, here we go. We get a short signal right here. You get water confirmation right there, parallax confirmation, setting you up for a really nice and currently into intraday movement right here so far. Let's actually see what that would have been. Not the biggest scalp, but not too bad. Not the biggest scalp, but not too bad. Continuation short signal, catching that. Short signal here, catching that. Short signal here, catching this. Short signal here, catching this. Short signal here on this candle, catching this. Take profit short signal on this candle. Let's see, you're short here and a continuation. That's probably a loss. Short signal here. That's probably a loss. So overall, decent activity. Not the best volatility, in my opinion, for LTF scalping, but it has definitely been there. It has definitely been there. And again, as we watch Bitcoin right now, again, retesting lows that we had formed over here on the 9th of March. Again, what I would be watching for, as I said earlier, is for minks on the 4 hour to potentially get oversold here, and then look at that as more of an optimum entry for the bottom feeder signal to take price to the upside here. The other thing that you can, of course, do is wait for the trending long signal here on your LTF of choice, or again, do default strategy, which is what we primarily teach, which is just trade in the direction of the daily. All right. Ethereum having a little bit of a worse sell-off than Bitcoin today, down below 190 now, 188.43. Man, it is hot in here. Again, not a whole lot to say about Ethereum here, so we'll just go to the breaking Bitcoin system. Again, the daily baseline is sitting at 246.51, so we do have more work to do on Ethereum. Continuation filter sitting at 214.29, initiator sitting at 259.42. Looking at our confirmation indicators here, we got the initial short signal on this candle, parallax confirms, water tar explosion confirms, and again, this was the signal that we actually took. We missing out, myself personally missing out a little bit on these short profits right now, as I did take the bottom feeder signal as an exit signal. Hey, you know, that's how life is sometimes. So again, minks not yet oversold here on Ethereum USD to the daily. So of course there is a little bit more downside possible, a little bit more downside possible on Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. Again, you know, I've made this very, very clear. You know, bottom feeder can often, you know, can take up to a week to play out, sometimes longer. There will sometimes be anywhere from 4 to 6 entries on bottom feeder. There's a few situations where there's actually more. Okay. What I would be watching for here on Ethereum is minks to be going into the oversold territory and crossing back up, giving us that that take profit short signal here on the daily. No signal right now on Ethereum for trending systems. Again, the continuation short was signaled here, and one would still, default strategy would still be in that trade. Coming down to the 12-hour time frame, again, we got the take profit short signal here, getting a little bit more follow through, and not yet a continuation short on the 12-hour. The 4-hour, let's see here, gave us a continuation short signal here and here on the 4-hour time frame. Minks confirmation, parallax confirmation, we don't need Wadatar explosion, and baseline confirmation we have, of course. We do not need Wadatar explosion confirmation for continuation signals. And of course, we talked about catching the actual 4-hour signal Very beautiful here, as well as Bitcoin catching that movement to the downside quite nicely. But overall, WADA is basically telling you to stay out of these movements. We are getting a little bit of increased momentum from WADA right here, but without explosion level confirmation. Now, Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, is actually making new lows right here. So again, I would be watching the 4-hour minks for us to get oversold here and then look at that as a potential bounce back opportunity. XRP, similarly, trading at 2038. XRP needs to close above 22 cents to invalidate shorts right now. Needs to get back above 24 cents for us to be looking for trending longs. We did get a continuation short signal and a TPS for a small loss, actually, on the latest daily trending trade for XRP. Of course, we talked about 2 nice trades that we were able to catch over here to the opposite side. Overall, Minx is crossing back into static on the current candle, so that puts us in a no trade zone on XRP USD. WADA target explosion is still bearish. Parallax is still bearish as well. Going down to the 12-hour, we had a reversal baseline bounce setup here or here, getting some nice follow through. Of course, we did get a good signal from the 12-hour. Actually, no, we did not. 12-hour has not given us a trade on XRP. So flat over here on XRP. XRP gave us a really nice 4-hour short here. And then, let's see here. We wouldn't have taken this trade. We wouldn't have taken this long signal. There was no confirmation. Parallax and WADA were still bearish. And no signal here on the 4-hour yet. In a no trade zone in the 4-hour baseline. Of course, one could have also been utilizing the better strategy, in my opinion, which is to be looking at the daily baseline on the lower time frames with the CC-EMA multi-time frame feature. So here on the 4-hour, we can see price. Let's go to Minx, and we'll set this to daily time frame. Now that long signal should disappear, and we get a short signal instead. All right, because now we're using Minx synced up with the daily baseline. And we can use CC-EMA to see that. It's a feature I'll actually add to the baseline proper. I don't have the multi-time frame feature in here yet, but I'm happy to add that. As well as the qualifier line that I removed from the new version of Quadriga ATR. But again, 4-hour XRP USD over here would have given you a short signal right here. Or again, you could have viewed this reversal, as price was going above and crossing back down below. Again, just traditional short signal. 30-minute time frame as well. Let's see what Minx gives us. Continuation short, continuation short, continuation short. I mean, just over the last 24 hours, I mean, 3 good continuation short signals here on the 30-minute chart as well, too. So a lot of activity, a lot of good activity, just depends on exactly how you want to trade. But nothing to do on the daily, nothing to do on the 12, nothing to do on the 4-hour currently. EOS USD down at 294. Again, very similar to the rest of our pairs here. EOS needs to get above $3.60 to regain the bullish trend. Closes above $3.27 are going to invalidate shorts at this point in time. We got the short signal from Minx over here, getting some beautiful follow through. EOS is recovering from an oversold Minx, so about to give a take profit short signal. I think that we'll likely get a bounce back on EOS as well at this point in time. And that's about it. No signal to do anything right now at this current point in time. Neither on BNB nor on Litecoin. Litecoin continues to drift down here lazily as we retrace our last movement right here. Litecoin needs to get back above $62 to regain the bullish trend. Closes above 53.79 are going to invalidate shorts at this point in time. And of course, we did get a continuation short signal on this candle right here below the continuation filter, and Minx signaling continuation short and getting some nice follow through so far. Parallax confirmation, Water explosion confirmation. Of course, remember, don't need Water explosion confirmation for continuation shorts, just for primary shorts. No reason to look at BNB. No real reason to look at OGN. What I will break down is actually two trades that I had put on yesterday that I ended up pulling about 2% per trade off of was Kava USDT. I entered Kava long, ended up being able to pull about 2% out. Again, I just didn't like the look of price as I went to bed last night, and I'm glad that I did, because if I had not exited those trades, I would be waking up to a loss. And again, just simply using, let's take a gander here. So one thing that would have protected us here is the 4-hour take profit long signal. So again, setting that alert in Minx. And again, you guys know how to do that. Just go to set add alert, Kava USDT. We're going to go to Minx and exit primary long or exit continuation long and set that alert. And then whenever you get that alert, you just go and exit your position. One way to potentially do that. So again, we entered on, let's see here, this candle close. This candle close. We get this movement and then we get a retracement. So you would have been out a little bit below your entry. Again, I utilized the 30-minute system for this. And so I was able to get that alert very, very early. And just overall, I saw that Bitcoin was going to be making, saw the probability that Bitcoin was going to continue to push a little bit lower. So I ended up pulling out of Kava USDT and Poly BTC in profit last night, rather than take the drawdown. So largely, I'm mostly flat in the market. Again, entered Poly here and exited here, actually. So overall, that's about it. Those are the only trades that I took last night as far as cryptocurrency is concerned, except for my Bitcoin long position, averaging into my long position that I'm currently entering into. Other than that, we'll look at traditional markets here in a little bit, but let's look at Forex first. Just give you guys an update on my Forex trades. Pretty lazy day, pretty lazy week for Forex for me anyways. Short on the Aussie Kiwi still. I'm actually still long on the pound Aussie, so just watching to get an exit signal. We did get a take profit long signal on this current candle. And I am, again, I don't have full risk on this trade. This is still a half risk trade. But I see why we got an overbought signal very, very quickly. Look how far Minx accelerated. And it was because of this wick to the upside right here. There's a lot of fear buying, a lot of market buying from the pound against the Aussie right here. So again, I think this is going to continue to have some follow through. We'll see. We're on the border of getting invalidation on that trade right now. We are coming down to test the daily baseline. So if we close below, but we are within range for a continuation signal. So holding the pound Aussie to the long side and still short the Aussie Kiwi. And looking at the Aussie Kiwi, looking how the Aussie's performing, especially against other currency pairs, I think that the pound is a good opportunity to move up. Especially we've got the news this morning. From the BOE, so I think that we've got a good chance there. Still short on Cardano H20. Good trade so far. Hasn't quite hit take profit 2 yet. About 3 sats away. I think we'll hit it before the end of the day. Looking over at traditional markets. Here we got the SPY. SPY currently trading at 276.53. We are getting a take profit short signal on the Minx system right now. We got, just to break this down, just looking at Minx, here's the initial short signal. Here's the take profit signal right here on the down candle. I really want to point that out. Minx is very predictive, even though it's a confirmation indicator. So short signal right here, parallax confirmation, Wadatar explosion confirmation, take profit short signal, SPY on the daily. Continuation short signal on an up candle. Again, I just want to point that out. On an up candle, take profit short signal on a down candle. So again, Minx doing a fantastic job on the SPY right here. You would have been, I mean, just ripping the SPY to shreds over here. SP, SDS, SH, SPXU. That's how you short the SPY. ET dubs if you're an American. If you're not an American, SPX, trade the CFD. Leverage responsibly. So on today's current candle, we are getting a take profit signal for shorts on the SPY. Not much else to say there. Looking at the Qs, NASDAQ ETF over here. We got so the Qs didn't fare as well. We actually got that take profit short signal on yesterday's candle and the continuation short signal here on the up candle, but overall not the movement that we wanted to get. Of course, we would have grabbed some profit. Let's actually go back and look at where our take profits would have been on Quadriga. Yeah, so on this candle, we would hit take profit 1, take profit 2, and then we would have closed out. So overall, we would have averaged about, on this latest continuation short, averaged about 4% on the Qs. Not too bad. Not too bad. And just take profit short signal yesterday, getting a little bit more of a sell-off, but no signal to do anything right now. We are in static right now, so this is a no trade zone on the Qs. Looking at the IYY, looking at the Dow here. 136.15. Let's take a gander. Getting again very similarly to the SPY. We got the continuation short signal over here on the 6th of March, last week's close. Friday, taking the trade before candle close, getting a continuation signal on an up candle, and getting a take profit short signal on a down candle. So take profit on your SPY and Dow shorts. Should have been out of your NASDAQ shorts yesterday. Whether you're trading the inverse ETFs or whether you are trading the CFDs. Energy sector XLV, or excuse me, healthcare sector XLV. Sector of the SPY. No such signal. Continuation short signal over here. Some drawdown. You're back at break even. Might actually hit the stop loss on this one. Let's take a gander. Nope, didn't hit the stop loss on this one. So you're back at break even on your XLV shorts. Nothing to do. Nothing to do. Hold the position. You know, with the Qs and with the, with the SPY and with the Dow signaling to take profit, it's going to move a little differently, but I wouldn't be mad at you if you just took the break-even trade. Okay. Gold spot, looking at the CFD on a Wanda. Again, got the long signal over here, confirmation here, hitting take profit 1, out at break even. All right, we are in a no trade zone on gold spot. We're in a no trade zone on gold spot. Again, the last trade that we took was this kind of scalpy daily long where we entered on this candle, did hit take profit 1 on this wick, and then on that same candle would have been out at break even. Didn't hit our stop loss on this down movement, but also didn't hit take profit either. I can show that verifiably. Again, here we go. Here's the entry. And I'll pull up the data window. So this is exactly what you would have seen. Quadriga 1 target was at 1773, stop loss at 1629. Low of this candle was 1642. High was 1692. Again, what was our take profit? 1773. And on this candle, we have a high of 1703.28. So hitting take profit 1 here. And then whether, sometime during this day, you would have moved your stop loss to break even. So if you would have waited till the end of the day, you would have actually been able to exit it just a couple fractions of profit. And we are in a no trade zone now on gold spot. Actually have my eye open for a couple things right now, either a continuation long or a short signal. Now to get a short signal on gold, we need to close the daily below 1624. So with us currently trading at 1643, we need about a $20, $30 sell-off on gold spot, and we'll see what we're looking like tomorrow. No trade zone on gold spot. Don't be in long positions. Don't be in short positions. Don't just be flat on gold. Silver. Silver. See here, we talked about this short signal over here. Boom. Hitting all 3 take profits, or if you're doing 1, 2, 3 profit taking strategy, if you're doing all in, all out, you were out here. If you were doing 50-50, partial profit here, all out here. Continuation short signal on yesterday's daily close. So you are in another active short trade on silver right now. Invalidation above 1751 daily close. And I would be looking to add to that position on a daily close below 1679. So I think the gold and silver are going to take another tumble here. And so again, yesterday's daily close signal for a continuation short on silver spot. Bentley crude, as I said, is in a no trade zone. I was long on DRIP, which is the inverse ETF for oil. And I do not believe that there is anything to do. I think it's actually kind of irresponsible to be taking positional trades on oil right now. I'm not predicting for it to go up or actually, I think that oil Listen, I mean, I have some friends that know more about oil than I do that are saying we're going to hit $18 a barrel. So I don't know that. I don't do the fundamentals of gold. I just take the trades as the technicals line them up. I don't look at fundamentals. I think that's silly. But I think there's some good cases there. Again, Bentley Crude, I had traded this, not Bentley Crude, but DRIP, and the signals are the same. Take profit short signal here, continuation short signal over here on the 6th. And then Monday I woke up and took profit. That's how I did my DRIP trade. So nothing right now. We are crossing. Today we're going to be getting a take profit short signal. So again, could have held that trade open, but I decided to take profit on that same day. I took my profit on a little bit right before the daily close on the 9th. That was Monday. So really nothing to do right now. We are going to be getting a take profit short signal. I don't know why it's not displaying here, but it should be because we are crossing back into static. Oh, I know why, because we actually need to close above plot sensitive stop loss. Plot reversals? I know why. I need to add the option in there for continuation exits. Continuation exits is crossing back into static. Anyways, regardless, we are going to be getting a no trade zone condition on today's daily close of Bentley Crude. So again, I do not recommend that people be sitting in oil moving forward for the rest of the week. And of course, here's DRIP. Again, people ask me this all the time. When are you going to publish the breaking Bitcoin indicator? You guys don't need it. You guys have WADA, Minx, Parallax, and the baseline. And so let's look at DRIP. Let's look at DRIP. Okay. I know it's not printing one right here, but this is a long signal. You guys can see Minx crosses. Oh, this is why it's not a long signal, because here's where the long signal should be generated, but it's below the baseline. On the next candle, this is the 1 bar rule. We get WADA, Parallax, and of course, Minx confirmation and baseline confirmation. That's the 1 bar rule. So we take this trade here. Here's the take profit long signal. And then we catch all that. A couple days go by. And on Friday, we get a continuation long signal. And what do we wake up to? Just for this latest continuation long signal on DRIP, we wake up to a max of about 141%. This is a 3x ETF, so make sure to position size responsibly. Yes, taking profit, my friend. So out of DRIP, nothing to do here. Same with Bentley Crude. All right, that's about all we got. We've got a lot to cover in today's crypto currently episode. Oh, sorry. Let's take a look at the broader markets. We do got some other stuff to talk about. So looking at crypto bubbles today. Again, massive performers Lend. Bitcoin also putting in some positive moves. HBAR and Lend. Otherwise, a pretty negative day. Blockstacks. Go Blockstack, up 2.6% as well against the dollar today. But overall, a down day for the markets. Waves continuing its performance. HBAR, BCN, and Lend, as I talked about. Now, Lend is off to the races. Let's take a look at Lend. Mr. Ave. So let's just look at... Let's just look at AVE to the US dollar. Again, beautiful movement currently from open to close, up 35.63% still. So shout out to anybody that took this trade. Wasn't a signal, nothing that we got into. But Lend is off to the races today. It did put in a 66% move to the upside today. Now, Jason, this analysis comes from junior analyst Jason. His PTP setup with the 13 EMA baseline would have had you into Lend on March 4th at 331 sats. So since he trades BTC pairs, let's go look at BTC pairs. Yeah, so we can see a little bit differently here. So we're going to look at baseline, and we're going to be using, let's take a look at Jason's baseline, the 13 EMA. So again, let's bring up our indies. Looking pretty good. Again, so he says that his system called for this on the 4th. And I see that he's not using the baseline channel. So for me, it would have been the 5th. But okay, we do close above the baseline proper on the 4th. At 331 sats, would have hit all three take profits today on today's current candle. Would have been great. Would have been a fantastic setup here on Lend. Nothing currently, of course, to do with Lend as it is way too far extended now to trade. Always make sure to look at big movers of the day at daily close, though. We all know how anything can happen. Retracements for continuations are absolutely possible. Lend with a market capitalization of $51.3 million. That's about 6,500 Bitcoins. 24-hour volume of $7.7 million. So plenty of liquidity there and plenty of circulating supply. Now, STEEM, second big mover or interesting movement of the day is going to be STEEM. Trading View, please load for me, yeah. Trading View, please load for me, yeah. Why, oh, why do you do this crap to me? Hopefully the stream, did I lose the stream? Hopefully I didn't lose the stream. Oh, looks like I still have the stream. So it must just be TradingView. This thing on? Loading. Yeah, I'm cool with it. We apologize for the delay in service.
We apologize for the delay in service. TradingView has decided to take a break or strike. We will return to your regular schedule analysis after the news.
On a little bit of a delay here over on TradingView, I see that. And on DLive, yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so anyways, let's take a pause there. TradingView seems to be out for lunch. And we'll give it a little bit to kind of reboot. So we'll cover STEEM and the rest of the big movers here when we return. Oh, what? What did? Yep. Ha ha! They listened to me. And we're back up. Never mind. See, guys, we get stuff done around here. Super weird. Okay, cool. Yeah, looks like everything's fine. Rough. I lost restream chat though, so I apologize. So I'll have to kind of watch. Well, today's show has certainly gone off the rails. Yeah, STEEM BTC. I believe we just covered this. Or no, we still need to cover this. So we'll get rid of this, and we will look at baseline and 21 EMA. Looking good. So STEEM also putting in a great movement yesterday. The 13 EMA PTP setup that Jason utilizes would have had you in STEEM on March 3rd. Thank you so much for the follow over there on Twitch, Alex Dow 14. The 13 EMA PTP setup utilizing the 13 EMA would have had an individual in on STEEM on March 3rd. Let's go find March 3rd again. Oh, 13, not the 21, the 13. Come on, man. March 3rd still seems like it's below 13 EMA for me, but for me anyways, I would have had a, this is Jason's system. So entry here and all three take profits here. And then I would have had a losing trade myself here, but I wouldn't have taken it because no WADA confirmation. And then a continuation long, or excuse me, a potential signal here as we cross back above. But overall, it seems like my system would not have caught STEEM. Jason has a little bit more sensitive system. Yeah, it seems like all my stuff restarted, but I didn't lose the stream, which is pretty neat. Okay, I guess. And if you were patient, would have hit all three take profits yesterday. Now, yesterday, also did represent a continuation long on STEEM, but was too far extended to take at a full or even half risk position. Currently nothing to do with STEEM here, just goes to show you how a good system can get you in before these large movements so that we are not reacting to big movements, but reacting to movements that are significant enough to imply that there is going to be volatility coming in, which is exactly what our systems are designed to do. STEEM trading with a market capitalization of $75.19 million, 24-hour volume of 3.9 million. So again, plenty of liquidity there on STEEM. And our other big mover of the day is going to be HBAR. So let's look at HBAR BTC. Mr. Hedera hash graph. HBAR is looking strong here on the daily. Today very well could represent a continuation long on daily close, but looking at the chart, Jason believes that if a continuation long does print from Minx, it will likely be too far extended for a full risk position as well. But definitely one, as we've said, to keep on your watch list this week, as we all know that HBAR has been a great mover as of late. HBAR with a market capitalization of $168 million, 24-hour volume of $53.45 million. So again, a lot here. Now, I will say discretionarily that although I do really like HBAR, this area of the market and looking at this overall market structure, these bear wicks to the upside do make me a little cautious. This does start to look like a little bit of distribution to me. Of course, HBAR's had a fantastic movement and there's a lot of fear over the markets. So again, lower time frame opportunities definitely here for a trader, but I would be a little patient and conservative if I were looking to establish a larger position in HBAR. Do not buy into the hype. I would be patient here on HBAR and see what kind of move we get. Because if we break the levy here, then it's not going to be a very positive thing. This is a retest of initiation of sell-off. So basically giving opportunity to anybody that bought in here to sell off their coins, and we'll see kind of where the market goes from here. Got a lot of kind of resistance to overcome here. All right, with that being said, we've got a fantastic cryptocurrency segment coming up for you guys. So we're going to take a brief 1-minute break. So go grab a flapjack, smoke a cigarette, do some squats, calisthenics, grab some water, juice, coffee, whatever you like. If you guys are enjoying the content, and if you're over there on YouTube, make sure to slap a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications. We are here every single day and post exclusive content here every single day. You can also follow us over on Twitter and Instagram, where we also post exclusive content that you will not see here on YouTube over there. Links are down in the description to anything you guys could possibly want in the realm of life. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. right, guys, let's get going with today's Crypto Currently segment. Now, our first story today is going to be what do, institutions look for as far as the use of blockchain? And to get some insight into this, while speaking at the MIT Bitcoin Expo, experts discuss the role of big institutions in the development of blockchain technology, as well as how cryptocurrencies figure into their priority to provide value and services to their clients. Quoting directly from Ada, sure I can get this name right, Ada Kokashi, quote, "If you remove yourself from the crypto space, there are tons of events happening in finance." Now, Ada is the vice president and digital asset lead at State Street. He continues, "For example, the stock market last week just didn't behave well. And with things like 401k plans, exchange trusted funds, and mutual funds, there are tons of competition between providers, which are driving fees down. As a result," she says, "even though financial service providers have the desire to take advantage of emerging new technologies like blockchain, their focus still remains on providing the best value to their customers and protecting their existing assets and interests," saying crypto might be one way to do that, but that would involve redesigning their entire value chain, speaking of these businesses, and there's still a lot of work that needs to be done for that to become viable. She did go on to say, however, that today's clients, from State Street anyways, are becoming increasingly accustomed to the idea of blockchain, saying that institutions are in fact looking to digital assets such as Bitcoin as a way of diversifying their portfolios, whether through fund allocation or even direct investment. Now, Ria Batoria, who is director of research at Fidelity Digital Assets, speaking on the institutional panel, explained that while crypto native startups dominated the space in earlier years, as of 2019, the trend is shifting toward institutional focused development and investment. For instance, Harvard, Yale, and MIT all made allocations to the space indirectly through a crypto fund last year. Quote, "They are realizing that this is an asset class that cannot be ignored," said Butoria. Now, as for aspects of blockchain and digital asset technology, what aspects are most interesting to these institutional operations? Well, the concept of digitally tokenizing securities has become a major point of institutional interest in the recent years. Quote, "Investors and participants are hungry for transparency in the space, and blockchain promises more transparency," Ada said. Now, coupled with the self-executing capability of smart contracts and the promise of lower costs, the technology does become very enticing for issues of security tokens. Marrying a legacy system into the cryptocurrency ecosystem does promise a lot of efficiencies in this area. Now, Lucas Nuzzi, he's a network data product manager at Coinmetrics, concurred with Ada's assessment of interests in security tokens from institutions, describing it as a high point of interest for those institutions. Now, one example cited was the French lender Societe Generale, which issued a $112 million bond on the Ethereum blockchain in April of 2019. Now, further back, Daimler AG, that's the company behind Mercedes-Benz, for example, issued a 100 million euro bond back in 2017 on a private version of the Ethereum blockchain, an enterprise version of the Ethereum blockchain. And Nannuzzi stated that while traditional crypto enthusiasts may not view security tokens as a particularly exciting development, there is a lot of demand on the institutional side of things to explore this area and look at public blockchains like Ethereum as another backend for their services. Now, real estate is obviously another promising use case for tokenized securities, and by incorporating blockchain technology, this will allow potential investors to keep better track of rates and other forms of meta-analysis of market conditions. Last year, the London Stock Exchange came out with a new regulatory sandbox for companies wishing to utilize blockchain technology, and as a result, companies were permitted to issue shares themselves at a much lower cost than going public with a firm like Morgan Stanley, for example. Now, this represents a very tempting value add for finance's incumbents. Now, given that the current security token landscape is still very limited and mostly based around the Ethereum smart contract platform, this is an area where institutions could be expected to do a lot of independent development of their own, most likely building up their own systems. Now, Coming back to Batoria from Fidelity Digital Asset, she highlighted settlement research as another area of interest for institutions. Right now, when you trade, the actual settlement happens 2 to 3 days after the trade is executed, she said. There are a lot of proof of concepts on the detachment between trading and settlement. This is like a low-hanging fruit for blockchain technology. Paxos, for instance, recently rolled out a pilot project that aims to speed up settlement for equity trades by utilizing blockchain technology. Quote, most of these have just been pilots so far. It would be interesting to see how these use cases play out over time, she continued. So what do you guys think? Kind of the takeaways from this might be that what these institutions are going to be utilizing are enterprise versions of blockchains. Again, this is something that blockchains like Algorand are very proficient in. There's the public Algorand blockchain and then develop enterprise solutions. Ethereum does the exact same thing. Of course, there are different enterprise. Obviously, Bitcoin is open source, so anybody can fork that off and form their own enterprise solution. So what do you guys think? What does the future hold for legacy financial institutions? Will they be slow or quick to adopt blockchain technology for issuing and managing securities as well as upgrading their settlement systems? Do you think they will ever build on public blockchains like Ethereum, or do you think that we will see a lot of private platforms rise and institutions will pile into building their own enterprise versions of these blockchains? And do you think the current market crisis over the pandemic is going to knock many of these institutions off track for years to come and delay their adoption or investment in this next generation technology? Please let me know here on YouTube in the comments section down below. Very excited to hear you guys' thoughts on this. This is kind of the big, stuff that I keep my eyes on moving forward, looking for investment opportunities. Now, our next story of the day. Now, listen, guys, I know that the viewers of this channel, we do attract a very niche audience of serious traders, kind of folks who are quite serious. So most of you guys are not going to need reminding that the space, the financial space, not just cryptocurrency, but everywhere you go, Forex is really bad. Trading is bad in general, but it's rampant with scams, and scams in general online are just rampant. Now, this one is so ridiculous. I had to cover it. We had to talk about this. And I don't think that it bears reminding you guys that if you come across something like this, I mean, this is just ridiculous, but let's talk about this. So scammers are taking advantage of the postponement of the No Time to Die premiere. This is Daniel Craig's final entry as 007 in the James Bond franchise. Big Bond fan myself. Now, the premiere of this highly anticipated movie was indeed moved to November due to the concerns surrounding the outbreak. So some good sense there. Now, for readers following certain links covering the postponement story behind the new movie, they are directed to a fake interview with Daniel Craig, in which he promotes the scam coin Bitcoin era. Right now, so here's an example of this advertisement that you will see when you're looking for information about the postponement of the Bond film. So the postponement is real, but these links are certainly not. This is the This is kind of the thing that the article claims that so when you find these articles, particularly this one big one, it's going to claim that if you're British and you're an investor, that you can become millionaires in a span of 4 months, or basically twice as fast as Hex. I'm just joking, just twice as fast as Hex. And in essence, this is a textbook fraud that is camouflaged with fake automated trading software. So this is not real. You guys will not become rich by investing in this. You will lose all of your money by investing in this. So beware, guys. It's not just James Bond. It's not just Daniel Craig. It's also Chris Kuby, Peter Sagan, Elon Musk, Jeremy Clarkson. All of these things. These scams are wrapping this automated trading, become a millionaire very quickly, targeting specifically, it seems, individuals in the UK, but also in other places. This stuff isn't real, guys. I am a professional trader. So my job is to extract profit consistently from financial markets. And I've said this over and over consistently, and I say this to everybody who joins the group. There is no such thing. You are not going to buy Bitcoin and become a millionaire. You're not going to buy any altcoin and become a millionaire. You're not going to buy any asset and become a millionaire. It's not going to happen. That does not happen in reality, right? there is a way to trade financial markets and have a consistent, profitable approach that allows you to do that full time or allows you to have a profitable side hustle. These things can empower and enrich your life. They can give you more freedom. They can give you more happiness. They can give you more confidence. And what naturally comes along as a result of being proficient in the financial markets are generally better business sense, better discipline, better psychology, better awareness, better budgeting. All of these things I think are absolutely valuable and very valuable skills to have. And what I've dedicated my life to is teaching people how to take this approach to life, how to take this approach to the markets. But there's no such thing. There's no automation out there that will make you rich overnight. There's no such investment that will make you rich overnight. This stuff just doesn't happen. And people need to stop thinking that it's real. So do not fall for this stuff, guys. Beware if James Bond or Elon Musk is shilling some new coin or product or service. Akon is shilling some blockchain thing now. This stuff is all garbage. It's not real. Think twice and realize that the only way, just as it's always been for all of human existence, the only way to become wealthy is to work hard and be honest. That's it. There's no shortcut. There's no other way. If you want to have an enriching, fulfilling life, you have to live forthrightly. You have to live honestly. You have to stand strong. You have to be proud. You have to live a life worth being proud of, which means you have to work hard and you have to be honest. You have to be ethical. And that's it, right? If you're an honest, ethical, hardworking person, you can pretty much get thrown into any situation and do well. If you are a lazy, sycophantic, lying, cheating, no good, swindling son of a gun, then you're going to do terrible no matter where you get dropped. And it's always going to be somebody else's fault. It's always going to be the world's out to get you. It's always going to be the conspiracy theories of the Illuminati lizard lords that are down to, out to get you. And that's just not real. It's not real, right? The world is your oyster. If you stand strong and live a life that is worth being proud of, live a life. You only have one life, guys. So why not live that life? Live a life to the best of your ability, worthy of having a book being written about it, right? Most people are walking around in a psychological maze, locked down in their own head, just reacting to whatever the world throws at them, drifting through space like an inert piece of matter. You don't have to live your life that way. You have the power inside of yourself to stand tall, to live whatever life you want to respond to situations however you want to, and to put yourself forward as honestly and ethically as possible and work hard. And that's all that is required. That's all that is required for success to naturally follow. There's no such thing as a guarantee in life. It is possible that you do all of this and that you do not have the life that you want. However, you stack the odds in your favor, and your other alternative is just shouting at the sky like everybody else that it's not your fault. Don't live that way. Okay. By the way, we're going to be heading for the door here in just a second. But I also wanted to just kind of, make a recommendation, guys. And again, I want you guys to, live the best way that possible. But here's the thing, for my Americans out there, interest rates are really, really, really low. So this is a fantastic time to, I'm not telling you guys to go take on debt unwisely, right? But this is the time, right? Interest rates are fantastically low. Go refinance your house. If you have a 4.5, APR, call your bank, see if you can't negotiate that down to a 3.5. Save yourself, depending on your house payment, $2,000 to $5,000 a year. Do that. If you have the money set aside for a car, this is going to be this is the time. If you have a business that you want to start up, now is the time. Now is the time, right? Go forth, live your dreams, take that opportunity, take advantage of low rates, take advantage of cheap money, and use that to build your dreams. Because either the world falls apart, so who cares? Or the world doesn't fall apart, which it won't, and you have put yourself out there and you are now working toward achieving your goals and attempting to build that life worth writing a book about. So, let's see here. With that being said, let's take a brief glance at, so this just broke about an hour ago, so I'll just briefly cover this, but this is real. The World Health Organization has tweeted that they have made so the World Health Organization is now officially declaring that this is a pandemic, okay? We've been saying that for quite a while. So, way to be Way to be on top of it, WHO. Tomorrow, we'll be covering safe haven assets that you might be sleeping on. And surprise, surprise, it's not gold or Bitcoin. So we'll cover safe haven assets tomorrow. Taking a look real quick here at questions from the audience. Let's open the chest here real quick too, by the way, for DLive. Question here on how to optimally prepare for joining the group. What videos to watch, scripts to read, platforms to register on. Well, as far as platforms to register on, we trade primarily on, well, again, the trades that we take can be taken generally on, you're going to want an altcoin exchange, which could be Binance, Huobi, Kraken, Coinbase in some extent, Bittrex, Poloniex to a certain extent. So that's going to come down to your personal preference. Most people are going to go with Binance, right? Because that's the biggest one out there. Huobi is obviously also very popular. And then we also trade, Bitcoin. So, for newer members who do not have any familiarity or comfort with margin or leverage, you can just take spot trades on Bitcoin or Coinbase, Coinbase Pro, Kraken, Binance with, USDT, Huobi with USDT. Again, you don't have to just jump right into margin. When you see us post a Bitcoin trade, you don't have, and it's like, well, we're taking a Bitcoin trade on Binance or ByBit. You don't have to do that. You can trade on Coinbase Pro and just take a trade there using the same risk calculations. So those are trading view, potentially 3 commas if you're going to be doing a lot of altcoins, Binance, ByBit, BitMEX potentially. A lot of the guys trade a lot on BitMEX. So there's options out there. You just want to kind of have a robust. I do FOREX on a Wanda, so you want to register for a FOREX broker. You can kind of take your pick. Depends on where you are. If you're in the United States, I'm going to recommend a Wanda. Of course, you can also do forex.com, FXCM. There is, if you're not in the United States, I would recommend like Blueberry Markets or IG, or a Wanda is also terrific if you're not in the United States as well. We don't do ETFs or CFDs yet, but we will be for CFDs if you're not in the America. Of course, you can't trade CFDs if you're an American. So if you're not in America, again, generally your broker is going to give you access to CFDs, Wanda, IG, Blueberry Markets. If you're in America and you want to trade ETFs, which is the alternative to CFDs, Charles Schwab, Webull. Webull has a deal right now where you can sign up for free and get a free stock worth up $250. And if you deposit any amount, you can get a second free stock worth up to $1,400. There is a link down in the description if you guys would like to take advantage of that. Webull.krakencryptocurrency.com. And again, as I said, I'm moving my funds off Robinhood, 50% to Charles Schwab, and 50% to Webull. So, other than that, what videos to watch? I mean, go through the Trading Crypto 101 playlist here on YouTube. We teach very, very differently from anybody out there. So all of that is in the course. All of that's in the premium educational material. But I just, again, recommend that you actually watch that people actually read that, read the risk management material, read the strategy material, learn how we do things, ask questions, ask lots of questions, take advantage of the community mentoring sessions. That's about it, man. I think that, entry is pretty straightforward. And I do have a request here for RCN. Looking over at DLive, DePi Guy, Change.io, and the 178 big winners today. Thank you guys so much for the support over there on DLive, my friends. RCN, Ripio Credit Network. Interesting little market structure here on RCN here on the daily. Looking at the breaking Bitcoin system, we are bearish until we crack, 806 sats, 805 sats. Below the daily baseline for me, Watertar explosion is basically telling us to stay out. We are getting a potential long signal from Minx today as we cross above the 0 line, but we're below the baseline and Parallax is still bearish. So I would wait a little bit here on RCN. The only thing that we kind of have going on is a potential double bottom, and we would want to see a daily close above 7, let's say call it 760 anyways for that. And then I think we could make a test here of maybe the 830s, but I would wait for the official signal. That's about it, guys. Let's start heading for the door, gentlemen. Didn't mean for that to come up. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Analysis. My name is Justin Wise. I am the lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. I hope you guys go on to have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below, as well, ideally, what you guys learned today in today's video over here on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all notifications because we do post exclusive content here multiple times a day. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram where we do post exclusive content throughout the day as well that you guys won't find here on YouTube. If you guys are beginning your journey into trading, if you guys would like to join us in that journey, make sure to check out what we do at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Links in the description for everything that you could possibly need in life. We will be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure to check your calendars, set the alerts, subscribe, notifications. Well, I'll be here for that. Join us in the Discord to stay up to date. We will be talking in there pretty much all day, every day. We will see you guys back here tomorrow. Again, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, trade safely, be good, be safe. And again, as I said, guys, take advantage of these opportunities while most people are absolutely afraid. Go out there, start a business, learn to code, start a hustle, learn to trade. All of these things are fantastic opportunities. Be brave when others are fearful, and you will come out ahead most of the time. And again, most importantly, make the changes in your life that you need to make to begin doing your absolute best to live that life that you optimally want to live. That life that you dream of right before your eyes close and you fall asleep at night. Everybody kind of daydreams about the life that they could possibly live. You can live that life. Make the steps to start doing and implementing those changes now. Do it now. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good.